therapy, as well as skilled nursing care. Brown is located on Washington Street in Alexander City. For more information, contact Cecily Lee, the administrator, at 256-329-9061.
S&S Discount Tires just added a brand new third location in New Site to help better serve the New Site, Mella Valley, and Clay County area. S&S Discount Tire has the best prices on tires around with the most qualified service techs. S&S Discount Tires, the area's leading volume tire dealer, because we sell tires the right way by making them affordable with service beyond compare. S&S Discount Tire in New Site is located right across the street from East Building Supply. Call us today at 256-392-4022. Sportz Blitz Live is on the air. News, scores, predictions. Sportz Blitz Live, the most comprehensive sports talk show in Alabama, with your hosts Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee. Call 800-782-0108. Auburn.
Oh my goodness!
Alabama.
Touchdown! TJ!
And the latest in high school sports. It's Sportz Blitz Live now. Brought to you by S&S Discount Tire and JR's Sports Bar and Grill.
Good Tuesday evening out there to everyone, and welcome into Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. Brett Pritchard and Luke Robinson here with you till 9 o'clock. We're glad to be here with you till 9 o'clock as you're listening out there on 95.9 down in the Auburn, Opelika area, 97.5 Kowaliga Country right here in the Lake Martin area, and, of course, on Charter Channel 80 throughout the state of Alabama on the Alabama Cable Network. Luke, good to see you, man. A ton going on right now in the world of sports. We know it's going to start tailing off here in the next few weeks as we head into the summer doldrums, but always a lot to talk about. But in high school sports, we usually dedicate the first 30 minutes or so of our program to high school sports because there are so many of you out there that love the high school sporting arenas, and both on the female and the male side, and with us with the AHSA Radio Network and you know, what we've established over the last 6 years, we're always happy to cover high school sports. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about national topics. We'll talk about college. There's a lot going on throughout the country right now in the world of sports, Luke. And, again, we want to take everyone's calls out there as well. If you are in a community somewhere throughout the state watching us, and you want to talk about your baseball team, you want to talk about your softball team, your soccer team, whatever's going on out there in your community, give us a call, 256-234-6464 or 1-800-782-0108, and right on cue we'll go to the phone lines and we'll pick up Brian. Brian, you're on Sportz Blitz. I didn't hear anything that you just said. Could you repeat that? Brian, I think your connection's bad, brother. Give us a call back. I'm picking up about every other word. Call us back. I think your connection's going bad.
Mad Libs.
It was like he's like he's going a new challenge. A new challenge from Brian. You fill in the blank, but he was trying to give us an update on something Alabama. I didn't quite get that, but you'll give us that update later on in the program.
Yeah, and if it's about baseball, man, they could use some good news, couldn't they?
Maybe that's why he was leaving every other word.
He was leaving every other word out. I don't blame him. I wish they could have left every other game out these last 2
Well,
games.
if it was as bad, I mean, if it was bad at Alabama, it was worse at Auburn with the 3-game stint they had with Mississippi State on the diamond. I've never seen a team that just absolutely couldn't hit the baseball like Auburn could this past weekend against Mississippi State. We'll dive off into that a little bit later on, but if you want to talk about it now, you can give us a call, 256-234-6464, 1-800-782-0108. And we want to encourage everybody to go find us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter, and then follow our links as we keep you updated, and then our good friends over at the Alabama High School Athletic Association, AHSAA.com, and then, of course, you can pick up all our broadcasts during each season on AHSARadioNetwork.com, along with all our affiliates out there. But, Luke, we'll start in baseball. This is the home stretch for baseball. They're heading into the semifinals. And in 6A, the 4 teams that are left right now is Baker and Spain Park. They'll play each other against Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa, and Sparkman, and they'll take on each other. That's your 4 teams, and there's something that stands out that we've been talking about for over a year now. You're starting to see Sparkman's name in every sport that we talk about in the 6A bracket, now, which will be 7A next year.
Yeah, Sparkman really has come on strong as of late in just about all arenas of their athletic department, and Spain Park for that matter too. I mean, Spain Park always seems to be in the thick of things no matter what they're playing. So both of those schools really making some big-time moves.
Hoover is a team that we always talk about, and, we just, who is going to be that team that knocks Hoover off their pedestal in all their sports? Of course, Hillcrest Tuscaloosa was that team that knocked them off in the second round of the playoffs. But in football, they're going to be loaded this year, Luke, again. This may be, and I'm getting off topic just a little bit to slide over to football in reference to Hoover. This may be one of the most talented Hoover teams that Josh Niblett's ever had. He's won a lot of state championships, but he's won when they really weren't the most talented team on the field, when the team they were playing had more actual talent. But Josh Niblett's an outstanding coach, and when you give him the type of talent that he had last year and then coming back this year, I can't remember as many D1 prospects on the team for Hoover as this year coming in.
They don't have anybody like
they don't have
Chad Johnson or Marlon Humphrey,
but
but they've got Christian Bell, they've got Darrell Williams, and Bradrick Shaw, and those 3 guys are arguably all in the top 10 of prospects in the state of Alabama this year. So they may, what they lack in superstar quality, they may make up for in incredible quantity and depth. And I think Hoover's going to be a force. But it's interesting you bring them up because their coach, Rick Davis, has stepped down. That's a story that's really just come out. Their baseball coach, Rick Davis, it's the first time in 20 years that if Hoover's program that they're going to have a different coach next year.
And they just haven't had a lot of turnover in many of their programs up there. Russ Probst was there forever in football, and then ever since he left, that was such a high-profile situation, and then who was going to be that next coach, and we knew a lot of guys that were in the finals for that job, and Josh Niblett ends up getting chosen, and he's done really, really well, really picked up where Russ Probst left off, and they've continued to be a machine in football. But, that'll be a high-profile baseball job, Luke, that'll be open. But we'll slide down.
If it's at Hoover, it's high-profile.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because it's a national program, no doubt about it. Let's slide down into 5A in semifinal matchup, and no shock here, Spanish Fort will be taking on Rehoboth in one semifinal game, and Briarwood Christian in Coleman. And all 4 of those programs have proven to be very good. Rehoboth now jumping up in there and playing really well, but Spanish Fort, Briarwood Christian, and Coleman all have been tremendous programs for a while in Class 5A. This Spanish Fort team is a machine. They defeated Marbury 2-1 and 9-4. They swept them. Marbury was the team that eliminated Benjamin Russell in a very tough matchup there. They beat Benjamin Russell the round before 6-4 and 11-9. So you hear Benjamin Russell and you hear Marbury and you hear Spanish Fort's name here in the last few years continue to be at the top. But after the dust settles, it's Spanish Fort, the Toros, they end up standing.
I mean, that may be, next to Hoover, the second best program in the state.
I think a lot of people would like to see that game in football. I think a lot of people would like to see Spanish Fort and Hoover play each other in football because, this isn't a cut on any of the other 5A opponents out there that Spanish Fort has had to beat the last couple of years in state title games. But, Randy and I have talked about it. I think you talked about it as well. Maybe the second best team overall in the state. And that's not a cut on any of the other 6A teams either. But Spanish Fort has just been a machine just like Hoover has.
They really have, and it's so hard to stop them, and they all know how to win. They've won state championships. I think that'd be a fantastic matchup. Do I hear Champions Challenge in the future? That'd be awesome.
That would be Champions Challenge material. And, you know, the new rule now with high school football, is 2 of the Champions Challenge games this year will still remain Jamboree-style games where they do not count on the record. One game will, and I believe it's Spanish Fort playing Stanhope Elmore.
Mm-hmm.
So that game will actually be a game that counts. So you've got really 11 weeks to play 10 now.
I wish that we would have somebody from the AHSA to tell us why they chose to do it that way. Because initially when it first came out, I thought, too, that all the games would count. And I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that it's hard to determine the kickoff for the second game, and therefore that could play a factor in how the team is prepared, or maybe the condition of the field, or what have you. But
you know, they're going because it's turf.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah. I don't know. I just know that the ruling says that you have 11 weeks to play 10 regular season games now. So you can play your Jamboree game and then play 10 consecutive weeks, or you can decide that you want to go ahead and count that game as a regular season game, maybe have a break somewhere in there.
You could have a bye, yeah.
You have a bye somewhere in there if you want
which isn't a horrible idea, but we've always grown up with high school doesn't have a bye.
That's right.
So that could be an interesting wrench into the mix. But I think that I would love to see the Champions Challenge games count. I just think that you know, just like anything else, when you watch preseason football, when you watch preseason NBA, all those things, or when Alabama and Auburn play athletes in action in basketball, it's just not the same. I mean, it's nice to get to see everybody play, but when it counts, and in high school football, they all mean so much because they're only 10 games.
They do, and, you know, I'll flash back to last year when Benjamin Russell played Walker. You couldn't have told either one of those teams that game was just a Jamboree-style game. Both teams came out really popping and wanting to win. And, you know, there was a lot of expectations on Benjamin Russell's back. Of course, they had a tremendous season last year and got knocked off by St. Paul's. That's nothing in overtime to shake your head about, and that game came down to the wire. But Benjamin Russell and Walker were it was a lively atmosphere on the turf down there at Crampton Bowl. And, you know, I'm with you. The Champions Challenge is a lot of fun. I think the AHSA has definitely gotten that part right, and having that is the ceremonial start to the high school football season.
Yeah, I could even see this going a step further and maybe even having regional Champions Challenge later on, so that maybe the teams don't have to travel quite as far. You have from Montgomery north and from Montgomery south, and have 2 Champions Challenges. You know, it may make it harder on us if we had to go.
Yeah, we would have to split up.
Only we would have to travel.
That's exactly right. But the scope of high school athletics is changing as a whole. We're starting to see it with the new deal with Raycom Media, with us re-signing our contract through 2020 with the radio network with the Alabama High School Athletic Association. So many different things are going on in the world of high school sports. It is definitely the growing seed out there as far as athletics. You know, ESPN for the last 3 or 4 years has really given a lot of exposure nationwide to high school athletics. Quickly in 4A, before we go to our first break, it'll be Childersburg and Charles Henderson in the 4A semifinal, and Ardmore and Haleyville in the other 4A semifinal. And that Childersburg-Charles Henderson matchup will be tremendous. Childersburg has been number 1 pretty much the whole year in 4A. The tremendous talent on that team. You know, Charles Henderson, there's another program, Luke, that we're seeing their name pop up in every sport. You know, football, they were in the 6A they were in the 4A state championship game. Now they're in the semifinal of 4A baseball. So we saw the talent that they had in football. And now Jamie Dubose is down there. And not a cut on anything that happened in Charles Henderson this year, because obviously they did a lot of stuff right to get to the state championship game. But we know what kind of coach Jamie Dubose is, and we know how close he had Florence to beating Hoover this year in the playoffs, and we know what kind of success he had at Prattville.
Right.
I fully expect, with the talent that Charles Henderson has this year, for them to be right back in the state championship game.
Yeah, I think they will too. You can almost pencil them in again with Jamie Dubose coming there, and we're just both so high on him. He's helped us out at the HSA.
He actually called the 4A game ironically, that between Aniana and Charles Henderson, and then really not too long after that, he was named the head. So he had a vested interest in
Well, and the thing that I got to interview him a couple of times, and the thing that I loved about him, you could tell he just kept looking out on the field going, we should be here, because Florence had Hoover. They had him on the ropes. They had a double-digit lead, I believe, at one time. I mean, they had it done, and it slipped right through their fingers. I mean, give Hoover a ton of credit, but at the same time, Florence just was right there on their way to a state championship.
And Florence really, not to speak of, not a lot of football history up there. So we can talk about this till we're blue in the face and we're up against the break, Luke, but every time we bring this up, there is no price you can put on the head of a good football coach or a good baseball coach or a good basketball coach. It's synonymous across the board. You can take this coach and move him to this program, he can make that program good. You can take him from here to this program and he can make it good. And Jamie Dubose is just one of those coaches here in the state of Alabama. And, boy, when you give him the talent that you and I saw on that Charles Henderson team, and a majority of that's coming back, several four-star guys on that team coming back, especially on defense, good luck to people down there in South Alabama.
Well, we've seen it in pro, in college, in high school, junior high, whatever. It doesn't matter how good and historical your program is. If you hire Mike Shula, if you hire
Gene
Chizik, eventually your program's going to suffer. But if you hire a Jamie Dubose, eventually your program's going to get a lot better. And I don't think it's going to be an eventually thing with this Charles Henderson team. I think that they're going to be ready next year.
1-800-782-0108, 256-234-6464. Up against the break. When we come back, we'll finish up 3A through 1A baseball brackets, talk a little bit about softball and soccer here in the state of Alabama here on the High School Blitz portion of our program. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live presented by JR's and S&S Tire right after this.
On Tap is brought to you by Hyundai of Auburn. You owe it to yourself. Call Hyundai of Auburn today at 334-321-0777 and visit them online at HyundaiofAuburn.com.
S&S Discount Tire on Cherokee Road in Alex City is the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealership and a place for everything mechanical. Weary and the S&S Tire crew are ready to serve you with double the capacity from routine oil changes to full engine overhauls and all transmission work. S&S Tire can handle it all. That's S&S Tire on Cherokee Road. Call David or Weary today at 256-215-8822. Visit S&S Discount Tire at 224 East South Street in Davie, now in 2 locations.
Welcome to ASA, a full-service salon and spa that caters to men, women, and children. Our product lines are Redken, Keratin, Sahag, and Moroccan Oil. We have 8 master color specialists, a skin esthetician, a licensed massage therapist, and a licensed nail technician.
We have introduced the Keratin Smoothing Treatment. It is perfect for all hair types, and it reduces frizz up to 95%.
From the time you arrive until the time you leave, it is our goal to exceed your expectations. Please call ASA Salon and Spa for all of your styling needs.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all-you-can-eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all-you-can-eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Lake Martin Washington Details, 734 on Airport Drive here in Alexander City. Phone number 256-749-6351. Remember now, they do offer gift certificates. They can do just a regular wash or a complete detail. They go that extra mile, and, of course, they use quality Alabama Auto Magic products. They're family-owned and operated. Again, give David a call. They'll be happy to pick up and deliver that vehicle right back to your job site, too. The good folks there at Lake Martin Wash and Detail.
Take this job and shove it.
Come visit your friends at ProLink at their new location at 1986 Airport Boulevard. Come see why ProLink in Alexander City gets more jobs from the leading automotive industry. And more jobs means more hires. More hires means a better chance for you to get back to work. So y'all get on down to ProLink today at their new office on Airport Boulevard and visit Miss Christie and see how they put the pro in ProLink.
It's political season. Get the most exposure for your campaign through Lee Marketing Group. Yard signs, banners, decals, door hangers, postcards. business cards, video production, advertising, and more. Custom, professional, and engaging. Everything you need in one place. Contact us today. 888-533-6758. www.leemarketing.net. LMG. Success by design.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
Welcome back to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and SNS Discount Tire. Brett Pritchard and Luke Robinson here with you for another hour and 45 minutes here till 9 o'clock. We are appreciative that you have joined us here tonight, and we're in the high school blitz portion of our show, and we've talked about 6A through 4A in baseball. Luke, we'll slide down to 3A, and again, not to sound like a broken record, programs that you'll see across the board, Madison Academy and Piedmont, will take on each other in one semifinal, Sipsey Valley and American Christian in the other. You got American Christian, Piedmont, and Madison Academy. They're always at the top of the heat in football, and I know we're staying on the football realm, but look at what Madison Academy and Piedmont both have done over the past several years in their respective sports, and add American Christian in there as well. Going to be a great baseball game between those two, and then, I don't, forgive me, I know as much about Sipsey Valley, but they got a great baseball team as well, obviously. So looking forward to two great semifinal matchups there in 3A.
Yeah, and Madison Academy, I mean, they're good in everything. I mean, they're
really
right there at the championship in basketball, right there at the championship in football. So they're just a strong program all the way around. I mean, now we talked about Hoover and we talked about Spanish Fort. Madison Academy may be number 3.
Well, they're in that category, no doubt, and they've proven themselves. And Hoover's a public school, and then you look down at Spanish Fort, they're a public school as well. But then you look at Madison Academy, they're a private school, and we've talked about some of the private schools in this state, and there's been a lot of people voice their concern that private schools should have their own classification. There was a lot of that debated before this realignment that we just had a few months ago from the HSAA going to 7 classifications. So in your opinion, Luke, and I mean, people can still come from any different angle on this, and we'd love to hear from you out there. Give us a call. Do you think they got it right, adding the 7th classification and keeping private schools in the mix, or do you think they should have also pulled out the private schools and created their own classification because they can operate with a different set of rules? And you can say they play up, and they do, but you also, as a private school, have leeway to go out and get pretty much who you want to in your area, and you've seen the teams that have been successful. UMS Wright, you've seen St. Paul's, you've seen McGill-Tulane, you've seen Madison Academy. We can go down the list. We've seen Trinity and Montgomery. The list of schools that Briarwood Christian that have been extremely successful, and they're very small schools, but all you have to do in football is have 11 on the field, and all you got to do in baseball is have the best 9 out there on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good decision to go to 7A. I do think it makes things a little bit more complicated. Obviously, the way the playoffs are going to be structured, or at least the Super 7, I guess that's what we'll go with in the final 56.
That's it.
I mean, it's going to be a little bit, or is it final 50?
Just 56.
Final yeah, I'm trying to do
don't add another game.
Don't want to hurt myself. But, yeah, I mean, it makes things a little bit more complicated in that regard, but there's no doubt that there were some haves and have-nots.
Sure.
And I think you want to keep all schools interested in athletics and keep them continuing to be as well-rounded as they can be. I think you could have gotten to a point where if you made it so that private schools count as 2 or 2.5 or whatever some people wanted per player, I think that you could have discouraged some private schools. Say, we just can't compete with that because we're not going to go out and recruit like some of these other schools are. And I know technically you're probably not supposed to recruit at all, but we know some of them do.
But in private, you can.
Yeah, but I think that, well, I mean, you can, but it's still it's probably frowned upon.
Well, I'm sure it's not really,
But I think that, in the end, I think you could have discouraged some private schools from participating in some of the athletics. And you know what? I think it's a good move by the AHSA, and under Steve Savarese, they always seem to make the right move.
They do, and at the end of the day, it seems to be the right choice. In 2A baseball, Laverne and Houston Academy will be in one semifinal section, and Ranburn will be in the other, Luke. So there's your matchups in 2A, and then finally in 1A, we'll pull that up. But, you know, one thing about baseball is that you can have good teams, but you can run one guy out there on the mound, and you know, all you got to really do is have two good pitchers the way the format's set up now, and you can be in good shape. In 1A, St. Luke's Episcopal will take on Fayetteville, and then Cedar Bluff and Athens Bible will be in the other semifinal matchup. Those coming up this weekend, and again, great baseball as they move ever so closer to state championship down in Montgomery. So, again, a lot of excitement in the baseball down. When we come back, we'll talk about some softball. We'll also talk about soccer, because soccer has grown tremendously in this state, Luke, over the last 15 years. And right here in our area, Benjamin Russell High School, Auburn High School, Sylacauga, there's a lot of great soccer programs right here in the area that we live in. And, again, we'll run down some of those brackets when we come back as well. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live presented by JR's and S&S Tire right after this.
For people of a certain age, like me, we remember the good old days. Drive-in movies, RC colas and moon pies, and driving your dream car for $200 a month or less. They're back at Hyundai of Auburn. North American Car of the Year, Elantra, $179 a month. International Car of the Year, Sonata, $199 a month. All Hyundais have superior gas mileage and America's best warranty. Hey, give me another RC. Here you go. Gary, we're working together again.
Just like the good old days, and I'm smiling.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
Wireless Advantage is Lake Martin's Verizon premium retailer, located in the Marketplace Shopping Center on Highway 280 in Alex City. We've got all the latest cell phones, along with the latest Wi-Fi internet products, home phone options, and state-of-the-art tablets. Don't get caught in long lines. Get full Verizon service and products from Apple, BlackBerry, Droid HTZ, iPad, LG, Motorola, and Samsung right here at home. Visit Wireless Advantage in the Marketplace Shopping Center in Alexander City on Highway 280 for all your Verizon wireless needs.
Welcome to Zaxby's. How may I help you? I wish to be a princess. We can make that happen. Thank you.
At Zaxby's, kids care. So in honor of the thousands of children we serve every year, we're proud to once again team up with Make-A-Wish. This year, we're helping to grant the wishes of 50 kids with life-threatening medical conditions. Because every child deserves a little star power. For more information on Zaxby's Kids Care, visit Zaxby's.com.
Lila's Engraving, celebrating 20 years of business in Alexander City, is proud to supply the Lake Martin area with all of its trophies, plaques, name tags, and any other engraving needs. Lila's also specializes in custom framing of any size picture or portrait. Lila's Engraving has been and continues to be a proud sponsor of Lake Martin area athletics, so go by and see or call Lila's Engraving at 256-234-6004.
It's the model year-end closeout with the lowest prices of the year. Now at Lynch Nissan of Auburn. The 2014 models are here, and the 2013s have got to go. While they last, own the new 2013 Nissan Altima for just $19,900. Or get a new 2013 Frontier. Price at just $18,900. Both with available 0% financing. The best deals of the year on the Nissans you want are here during the model year-end closeout. Only at Lynch Nissan of Auburn. I-85 at exit 51. Online at lynchnissan.com.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, offering a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, electrical, and plumbing supplies. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rate products, and competitive do-it-best pricing.
Welcome back to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and SNS Discount Tire. Brett Pritchard alongside Luke Robinson here tonight with you till 9 o'clock, and glad that you've joined us. Give us a call tonight and voice your opinion, and or if you got a question for us, we'd love to hear from you, and we'll also take, we'll have some trivia coming your way as well. We just talked about baseball, Luke, and to close out the high school blitz segment of our show, we'll talk about some soccer and some softball. In the Final Four of the 6A boys bracket, it'll be Oak Mountain versus Fairhope and Vestavia Hills and Huntsville. So a good Final Four there in 6A on the boys' side.
Yeah, and Huntsville always has really strong soccer programs.
Yeah, it seems like the North has always been strong in soccer, but over the last 15 years, it's really spread. And Mobile area's got strong soccer as well as Montgomery. But over in the girls' side in 6A, McGill-Tulane will take on Oak Mountain, and Mountain Brook will take on Huntsville. So, again, some Birmingham schools in there, some Mobile schools smattered in the soccer semifinals for the girls. Coming up on the boys in 5A, Pinson Valley and Homewood will be in one semifinal. Fort Payne and Central Nell will be in the other. And again, Benjamin Russell was eliminated here in this area by Homewood 3-1. It was a close game. Homewood finds a way to get past John Carroll. John Carroll beat them twice by one goal. And this time Homewood gets the better of John Carroll. They beat them 2-1 to move on. So just like in sports, just like in rematches, we have argued and talked about rematches in college and pro and in high school. And you know what? Some people may look at this bracket and go, that's not fair because John Carroll beat them twice in the regular season, but Homewood beat them when it really counted. They beat them in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, you play somebody enough, eventually you're going to beat them.
And it's all been one-goal games. All been one-goal games, and this time Homewood gets the better of John Carroll. Two even teams. In the girls' side, Pinson Valley and John Carroll. In the girls, and St. Paul's and Athens will be the other semifinal matchup. And the way they do it in soccer is the way they do it in some of the other sports like tennis. You'll have 1A through 4A. They do that in wrestling as well. So in the 1A through 4A bracket for boys, Montgomery Academy and Indian Springs will be in one semifinal matchup, and Aniana and Randolph will be in the other semifinal matchup. And Indian Springs is where you went to school, Luke.
It is, and every time I think about Indian Springs in a sports context, I'm going to tell you a quick story.
Okay,
I mean,
just go ahead.
We're right here in the high school segment. I used to play basketball for Indian Springs, and we had a pretty good team when I was a senior. And everybody else was, they had their cheers, their mascots, whatever. And I remember we were playing in a tournament, and the announcer said, "Okay, on this side, we've got the so-and-so Wildcats. And the visiting team will be the Indian Springs," and he literally put the microphone down because it came to him very quickly that he didn't know what our mascot was because we don't have one. And he said, "Indians." And I mean, he just sort of threw that out.
Indians.
Then what happened was in the stands, the next home game, they decided we don't want to be called the Indians, so we're going to come up with the.
So y'all didn't have a mascot?
No, they were going to come up.
How do you play a sport without a mascot?
Said we're going to come up with the one thing that's furthest away from Birmingham, the animal that we think is least likely to be associated with Birmingham. So they started calling us the Indian Springs Sharks, but that was only our students. And then every time we'd score a bucket for a while, they'd say, "Let's go Sharks," and I didn't know what in the world they were talking about. And I mean, it had me confused because I wasn't in on it. But anyway,
that's interesting. How many? Is there another school out there without a mascot? Do you know of any other school? You played for the one school in the universe that didn't have a mascot.
We just didn't have one.
So, do they have one now? Are they the Sharks?
I don't think they adapted that one. No.
All right, 1A through 4A girls, and we'll wrap up soccer. Montgomery Academy and Holy Spirit Catholic in one semifinal. Gunnersville and Randolph in the other. So there you go. That wraps up the championships in soccer, and as they move on down the line. So again, very interesting to see how this will play out. A lot of great things going on. I know in softball, we'll save softball till next week because they're just now moving into the playoff action, and there's a ton of stuff to go down here with softball, and I don't think we have near enough time to dive into it. But if you'd like to talk about your softball team, give us a call, 1-800-782-0108, 256-234-6464 to be part of the program. Luke, at 8 o'clock, you'll have Bill Clark here on the show with you, UAB head football coach now, and a guy that spent a ton of his time in high school sports here in the state of Alabama, has made his living up to this point, really, as he went over to Jacksonville State, and now he has moved up to, let's just be honest, a tremendous task, a tremendous test for him in being the coach at UAB.
He's had sort of a Malzahni meteoric rise. I mean, he's at Prattville 1 minute, then he's at South Alabama for a few years as defensive coordinator. He goes straight Jacksonville State for a year. Now he's at UAB. I mean, who's to say if he won't go up and get a much bigger job here very soon?
And look, UAB, we cover UAB. We've had some players from this area play for UAB, still playing for UAB, Luke. And but I think anybody would be honest with each other and go, UAB has struggled since the inception of their program. But it's not all their fault. There's been a lot of external factors that I think maybe could have helped. If he comes in here and takes UAB to a bowl game, or they start winning 7, 8 ball games, or they start being 7-5 every year and very competitive in their conference, Luke, it will be a meteoric rise for him to some other program. I hate to say it for UAB, but that's kind of been the thing that they've been watching. Is this coach going to be the coach? Garrett McGee, is he going to be the coach to get UAB over the hump? Is it going to be Bill Clark this time? That's part of the pull to being that coach. I'll have to be honest with you. If you can get it done there, a lot of people feel like you can get it done anywhere.
Well, here's the thing. I associate UAB football with two things: lousy home attendance and defeating Nick Saban's LSU squad in the year 2000. I remember UAB's doing that and thinking, this Nick Saban guy isn't going to work out down there. And I think I missed that one by a little bit. But UAB, that's the good thing, I guess, about Bill Clark coming into this. Look, everything was such a mess after Garrett McGee. There's nowhere to go but up. I mean, you can go sideways, I guess, but you're not going to get any worse than the way Garrett McGee had this thing fumble around.
Sure.
And Bill Clark's just the guy to clean this up. I really believe he's the kind of coach who can come in here. And look, UAB's not going to be playing for any national championships, but he can come in and he can make this program respectable and start a foundation for UAB. I mean, how long has this program been in existence? Since the early 90s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have not had a foundation since then. If you couldn't build anything, if you couldn't make anything of beating LSU in Baton Rouge, then that tells you where this program is. And they have not been able to get anything going. And they've had ample opportunities. And now, here we are at a time when Alabama and Auburn are recruiting out of the state probably as much as they ever have, and recruiting huge 5- and 4-star talent everywhere. UAB is going to have a shot to take some of these guys that normally go to Mississippi State, or normally go to Troy, or normally go to Georgia Tech. And they need to capitalize on that. And I think Bill Clark's the kind of guy who can do that.
1-800-782-0108, 256-234-6464. And again, we wish him nothing but the best up there. We'd love to support UAB football here. Hey, look, I think it'd be great for UAB to turn the corner finally. These fans, their fans deserve that. I think their school has been really pushing, and maybe now with Bill Clark, and ask him about it, Luke, because right when he got hired, he said that they made him several promises, that they are dedicated to facilities. They're dedicated to enhancing this program. And in this day and age, you've got to have it. It's too competitive out there, even for talent that may not be the 5-star talent, but for all the other schools out there, there's a lot of great football programs out there now, and you've got to give yourself a shot. Garrett McGee came out and said they made the same promises to him, and they never came through with them. So let's see what happens this time with Bill Clark, because a lot of people on a show that I heard right when he got hired said this may be the last deal for UAB. If they can't get it done this time, it may be time to look at doing something else.
And why can't they be Bowling Green? Why can't
there's no excuse for them not to be, right, especially with the talent here in the state. I mean, there's a lot of talent in the state, Luke, that goes to other places that if things were right, if the facilities and some of the commitments needed to be there to be a part of this program, those players would go to there and they would contribute and their program would get better. So it's going to be an interesting. I'm looking forward to hearing you talk with head football coach Bill Clark at UAB. We're up against a break. When we come back, we'll talk some more about this and take your phone calls. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live presented by JR's and SNS Tire right after this.
Bucks Island is one of the oldest boat dealers in Alabama, serving boaters since 1948 with the largest boat showroom in the state. Bass boats featuring Skeeter, cruisers and sport boats featuring Monterey, pontoons featuring Crest, G3, and Voyagers, powered by Mercury and Yamaha. Bucks Island has sold over 10,000 boats, and with a full service and parts and accessories department to keep your boat in top condition. Don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote. Visit Bucks Island on Highway 77 in Southside or online at bucksisland.com. Give them a call at 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island, where our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
When you come to CarQuest, you'll find the quality parts you need and the service you deserve, along with the peace of mind that you've come to a place you can trust, where our people are happy to share their expertise to help you get it right. Whether you're a Saturday superstar or one of our many professional customers, CarQuest batteries are designed to match original equipment fit, form, and function. Import or domestic, farm, marine, or recreational. Get started at CarQuest. Great people, great products, great prices. CarQuest Auto Parts.
Don't let pests take your house or business over. Wave the red flag. Red Flag Pest, owned and operated by Scott Davis on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, is licensed, insured, and bonded, and serves the Lake Martin area, specializing in lake homes, residential property, and industrial property. Call for a free inspection today, 256-825-0430, and visit us online at redflagpestcontrol.com. Red Flag Pest Control, when the problem has to stop. Guaranteed. Family owned and operated, Holly's Home Furnishings is the Lake Martin area's best choice for all of your furniture needs. Whether you're looking for something new for the living room, dining room, or bedroom, Holly's has something you'll love for every room in your house. Holly's has a great selection of furniture and the most popular names like Lane, Broyhill, Rowe Furniture, as well as the best names in mattresses like Sealy and Tempur-Pedic. You can even get beautiful home decor, everything your home needs, at Holly's Home Furnishings, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City. Visit their website at hollyshomefurnishings.com.
Excitement awaits you on beautiful Lake Martin. Alex City Guide Service can provide you with a charter trip of a lifetime. Licensed charter guide David Hare has over 20 years of experience on Lake Martin, specializing in live bait fishing for trophy-sized saltwater striped bass, largemouth bass, and spotted bass. Call Alex City Guide Service today at 256-401-3089 or visit them online at www.alexcityguideservice.com.
For over 60 years, East Central Alabama has relied on Jackson Refrigeration for installation and service on all brands, including Rheem, Goodman, and York. Now we've expanded into A1 Four Seasons Heating and Air, a division of Jackson Refrigeration. We still make your comfort our priority and expect our staff to be the most experienced, dedicated, and trained to give you the highest quality of sales and service. When choosing your heating and air company, choose our family of professionals. The all-new A1 Four Seasons Heating and Air, the all-new division of Jackson Refrigeration. This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Dark Insurance, offering insurance for all your personal needs, including auto, boat, homeowners, and disability. Don't be in the dark. Call Dark Insurance at 256-234-5026.
Welcome back to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and SNS. Discount Tire, Brett Pritchard and Luke Robinson here with you till 9 o'clock. And our producer, Justin Clayton, never ceases to amaze me on his trivia questions. And there's one that a lot of people would get. This one, I don't know. I've got to go with it first because – and here we go, drum roll, please. What's the only American city that has at least 3 sports teams that wear the same colors? What's the only American city that has at least 3 sports teams that wear the same colors? 256-234-6464. I don't know if you can even Google that, and Google may be confused on how to get to the answer.
I have an answer, but I'm not sure. I mean, it depends on the spectrum of colors. I mean, is it the variety of if you're looking at the colors of the rainbow?
I'll be honest with you, I don't have a clue.
I think I've got an idea. I think I know it. I think I do. I mean,
got it. Okay.
You may say it?
No. Okay. I mean, no, I don't want you to say it. See if somebody calls in and says it. 1-800-782-0108, 256-234-6464 here to close out basically high school, really kind of semi-high school, and then sliding over in to the college ranks when Bill Clark is on with you. Jameis Winston.
Brett, the other day, I guess it was yesterday, he's already been reinstated to the baseball team. The punishment's over. They said he conducted all of his community service. And you know what he did? He went to a YMCA and he did janitorial duties, and he interacted with people, i.e. he played basketball or played football or flag football or something like that. I mean, Florida State's a joke. I'm sorry, man. They're just a joke. In Jimbo Fisher, really. I mean, and I know everybody's going to say, well, there could be more to the story. What's more to the story than you stole crab legs? And you don't forget that you've got crab legs. It's not like he was pushing a cart and he had, some bottled waters on that underneath thing.
Yeah, and you just strolled out and said, oh, I forgot to put this water.
I can buy that. That's legitimate. I could buy it. He had a bag of crab legs and just walked out. It's the dumbest thing. Yep. It really has led me to ask, I don't know that I've heard of anything that dumb in sports.
And I talk about it on Saturday's show, Luke. He is the immature kid that thinks everything's funny. Everything is silly.
Here's what's horrible, and I know we're going to call her. Jameis Winston, I interviewed him a couple of times. Yeah. Dungeon Master. It's just crab legs escaped. I've interviewed him a couple of times before he ever committed to Florida State. Yeah. Mississippi All-Star game, in the Champions Challenge. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, very likable kid, very nice kid. He has become one of the most unlikable kids in college football, in my opinion.
Well, he's forced, and he's done it to himself. So,
he has only done it to himself, and I hate it because I liked him so much. I wanted him to succeed, but you keep doing stupid things like this, and it's hard.
People get tired of it. Yeah. People get tired of it. Deborah in Alex City on Sportz Blitz.
Hey, Deborah.
Hey, would that be Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh. That's it. It's okay. You got it. The Penguins, the Pirates, and the Steelers.
Okay.
You got it, Deborah. So come by LMG in Alex City and pick you up a prize. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. That was pretty easy, and when she said it, it made sense. Obviously. Let's go back to the phone lines. Go ahead. You're on Sportz Blitz.
Yeah, I was going to answer that trivia, but that girl got it. Pittsburgh, Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates.
That's right. Hey, that's exactly right, and she answered it. You just a little bit late. Hey, we'll have another one coming your way here in a little bit, Kenny, so call us back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kenny. And so the black and gold up there. So
I'm embarrassed to say what I was
black and yellow, really.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I'm not going to tell
you. Now you got to tell us.
I was going to go Dallas. Okay, think about it for us. Okay, the Cowboys, they blue.
Yeah,
and
blue. And,
okay, and the Mavericks, blue and white, kind of. Even though they used to have a lot more green.
Yeah, but that's.
And then the Rangers, they have blue, but it's kind of gray, and really it's more red.
Actually, that's right.
I can kind of buy it.
Actually, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's more than one American city that has. They are all blue and white.
But it is.
They are all blue and white, though. Luke, I'll give you credit on that.
The spectrum is wider than it is. The Pirates, the Penguins, and the Steelers, I mean, those are all very distinctive yellows.
There's no doubt.
I mean, they're all the same.
Yeah, it's black and yellow, no doubt. But you're right. I'll give you credit for that, man. I'll help you out on that one. But going back,
appreciate that.
Yeah, there you go. That don't happen very often.
I'll get a shirt. But going back to Jameis Winston, I mean, it's so stupid you can't believe you're even listening to it. I mean, and then all the excuses are even worse, and it was just youthful ignorance.
You know what it does is it pulls to the forefront what everybody already knows, that if you are a superstar, you can get away with whatever you want to at whatever school. I know we're sitting here pointing the finger at Florida State and we're telling them and we're saying that they're a joke. Well, so would anybody else. If Jameis Winston was on their team, I'm sorry, somebody out there might say hasta la vista, but as much as it rides on his back for Florida State in football and baseball too, I guess, but in football, but to me, that makes their baseball program even look more dumb.
Oh,
because I mean, we're going to kick him off, and we thought that was the baseball team saving face for the university. Now they even come back and reinstate.
And who does their community service at the YMCA? I mean, could you at least let him go get some trash out of the park or something? I mean, it sounded like he went and played basketball. They didn't say exactly what he did, but it interacted with other kids at the YMCA. I mean, that's what your punishment is. But you're right. It has been this way forever. I go back to when I was at Alabama, and David Palmer got 2 DUIs in the span of about 6 months, 8 months, if I remember right. And he really faced very little punishment. I mean, it's
a double standard.
And again, I said this on Saturday that Alabama's let DJ Petway back on the team. Auburn's had Nick Marshall and Cam Newton, who have been, and Georgia's had Zach Mettenberger, who was at Georgia. I mean, they get kicked out of one school and get on another school in the same conference, or kicked out of one school and let back into that very same school. I mean, Alabama. There are rumors out there that they may go after Devonta Pollard again in basketball. I mean, again, it's just
if you're talented, you get more chances.
And you know what? I'm kind of down with it. I understand it to a degree, but James Winston has gotten more than your average.
He's running out of chances.
In my opinion, Bill, apparently he's not. That's the thing.
Well, he could do anything, I guess, at this point. But we're up against the break. We come back. One more quick segment, then Bill Clark, head football coach at UAB. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live presented by JR's and S&S Tire right after this.
Ever wondered what LMG can do for you? The possibilities are endless.
LMG offers custom apparel and promotional products, any type of signage and vehicle wraps, web design and internet marketing, video production, paper products, and more. Visit us online at www.leemarketing.net. With 3 locations to best serve you: Madison Street in Alexander City, Highway 280 in Dadeville, and Frederick Road in Auburn.
Sperlin Recycling is an Alabama-based recycling company specializing in the recycling of metal, aluminum, copper, ferrous, and non-ferrous waste. Sperlin Recycling is available for all your commercial recycling needs, including demolition, on-site scrap removal, and roll-off services. Sperlin Recycling is a family-owned corporation with several generations of experience. Call us today at 256-234-0903 and visit us online at www.sperlinrecycling.com.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all-you-can-eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all-you-can-eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Hello, I'm Russell Building Supply.
And I'm the big box store.
Box, I don't mean to cut you short, but I've got a delivery to make.
A delivery?
Yeah, Russell delivers anywhere in the local area for free, usually on the same day, and that's on top of our low price guarantee.
Really? Free? Are you kidding me?
No, and if you prefer to pick the order up yourself, we'll load it for free.
And on the same day?
Yeah, we're really good at working on short lead times. How about you?
Yeah, I'm short.
Serving Lake Martin and Central Alabama.
When you're on Lake Martin and looking for your own boat, it pays to know what the locals know. Alex City Marine in Alex City and the all-new Alex City Marine South on Highway 63 across from the Mini Mall is Lake Martin's premier Landau pontoon boat dealer and the area's authorized Suzuki, Honda, and Mercury outboard dealer. Alex City Marine has the industry's best brands, and they back it up with the industry's best boat repair with marine-certified specialists that get it done right. Whether summerization or a full overhaul, Alex City Marine has you covered on both ends of the lake. Know what the locals know. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin's complete sales and service center with 2 locations to serve you.
It's political season. Get the most exposure for your campaign through Lee Marketing Group. Yard signs, banners, decals, door hangers, postcards, business cards, video production, advertising, and more. Custom, professional, and engaging. Everything you need in one place. Contact us today. 888-533-6758. www.leemarketing.net. LMG. Success by design.
Well, there you go. I mean, I was expecting the bumper of the segment sponsor, but never mind. We'll go straight into this segment. Appreciate the heads up. I wonder, you feel that cold stare. You know when somebody's looking at you. You're like, what?
And you.
So we really do homework during the break, actually.
We do.
But 1-800-782-0108, 256-234-6464. We'll wait to throw this next trivia question out there because this is a short segment. You'll have Bill Clark on the next segment. And then we'll get that other trivia question out there because we had several people that called in trying to answer the other one. So actually that turned out to be a good trivia question. I was kind of a little hard on Justin. Turned out to be a real good trivia question. Although you found out there was a couple of answers to it. So we'll get that out there here in just a minute. But Luke, let's kind of preview what we're going to be talking about in the second hour. We're going to be talking about Auburn and Alabama football and baseball, and both teams right now not playing the way you need to be playing heading into the SEC tournament. Alabama will make the SEC tournament. It's still up in the air whether Auburn will make it or not. You can say what you want to. Alabama still has had a better season than Auburn has, and we'll talk more about it when it rolls into it, but I'm not too sure that, like you said, it may be smoke and mirrors a little bit for what Alabama's been able to do as they got swept by Florida. Auburn got swept by Mississippi State. We'll cover both of those in the Auburn and the Alabama Blitz segments of the show. The NBA playoffs are in full pursuit now, and then the LA Clippers go ahead and get a win. The Pacers got beat last night. We got a lot that we're going to talk about with that, but did the Pacers look like the number one team in the East to you?
No, and everybody's brought up a great point. It seemed like they're
3-2. I mean, 2-3 at home.
They spent all their energy trying to get that number one seed. Like that was their goal.
Yeah.
And
what does that prove?
And the Miami Heat and some of these other teams, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
They look like. And I heard somebody on another station, I'll give them credit, say this earlier, that it looked like they look like the old man at the gym. That all these young guys come in and they're so fired up, and the old guy at the gym is the one that hits all the consistent buckets. He knows how to get that rebound when you gotta have it. He's not doing anything flashy, but he's winning the ball games for you, and that's what the Heat and Brooklyn look like, and that's a series. To me, that may be the most intriguing series going. I mean, Brooklyn was 4-0 against the Heat this year. Now, three of the games, I believe, were decided by 1 point.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Brooklyn's got the players that are seasoned veterans, and they can give the Heat all they want. Obviously, the Heat were the only team that wasn't tested at all in the first round. I mean, they go 4-0 against the Bobcats. It's funny, the Pacers went all out to get that number one seed, and they probably would have been better off if they had gotten the 2 seed.
That's exactly right, because the Bobcats, they've been a bad program for a while, but get into the playoffs, Heat take care of business like you thought. Over in the West, a lot of the same faces, but in the East, you got a lot of new faces, and you got the Wizards over there playing extremely well. So we'll talk more about that a little bit later on. The NFL draft, we'll talk a lot about that coming up. This is a very interesting draft. A lot of players out there. I mean, you're right. They started talking so early about the players of this draft that, example, Johnny Manziel has gone up, back down, and now going back up again.
There are general managers that say, I don't know that I could pass him up in the first pick, and there are other ones that say I wouldn't pick him to the third round. I don't know that I've ever heard of a swing like that.
I don't know where he's going to land. I don't think he goes number one, though.
No, I don't. I mean, and you're a fool if you don't take Jadeveon Clowney 1. I mean, if you ask me,
if he doesn't go 1 or 2, if it's Jadeveon Clowney, Greg Robinson, it may be a while before Johnny Manziel's chosen.
That's right.
I mean, or if they somehow decide they want to take him,
and
he could go 1. Who knows?
A guy who's skyrocketing is Khalil Mack, and some people have him going number 1 and no later than, say, number 5 now. Frankly, I mean, and maybe this is the homer in me. I think C.J. Mosley is every bit the player as he is, and has played stiffer competition and proven himself over a very long haul. But Khalil Mack tested very well, and somebody's going to take a chance on him early. And another guy that shot up the charts, and this is no surprise, is Sammy Watkins.
1-800-782-0108 is our number for later on in the show. We're up against a break. We come back. Bill Clark, the head football coach for the UAB Blazers, will be on with our very own Luke Robinson. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live presented by JR's and S&S Discount Tire right after this.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
It's political season. Get the most exposure for your campaign through Lee Marketing Group. Yard signs, banners, decals, door hangers, postcards, business cards, video production, advertising, and more. Custom, professional, and engaging. Everything you need in one place. Contact us today. 888-533-6758. www.leemarketing.net. LMG. Success by design.
S&S Discount Tires just added a brand new third location in New Site to help better serve the New Site, Mella Valley, and Clay County area. S&S Discount Tire has the best prices on tires around with the most qualified service techs. S&S Discount Tires, the area's leading volume tire dealer, because we sell tires the right way by making them affordable with service beyond compare. S&S Discount Tire in New Site is located right across the street from East Building Supply. Call us today at 256-392-4022.
Sperlin Recycling is an Alabama-based recycling company specializing in the recycling of metal, aluminum, copper, ferrous, and non-ferrous waste. Sperlin Recycling is available for all your commercial recycling needs, including demolition, on-site scrap removal, and roll-off services. Sperlin Recycling is a family-owned corporation with several generations of experience. Call us today at 256-234-0903 and visit us online at www.sperlinrecycling.com.
At Brown Nursing Home, you'll find quality care and comfortable living. We take great pride in our rehabilitation services, including short-term rehabilitation. We offer speech, occupational, and physical therapy, as well as skilled nursing care. Brown is located on Washington Street in Alexander City. For more information, contact Cecily Lee, the administrator, at 256-329-9061.
Hello, I'm State Farm Agent Karen Chanel. I specialize in helping families and individuals like yourself in the Alexander City and Lake Martin communities. With over 20 years experience with State Farm and a dynamic team of licensed professionals, I am committed to helping you manage the risk of everyday life. And we not only consider it an honor, but a privilege to assist you in meeting your insurance and financial services needs. I sincerely look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Sperlin Recycling. For all your commercial recycling or demolition needs, call them today at 256-234-0903 or visit them online at www.sperlinrecycling.com.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live. Luke Robinson with you now. Very excited to have UAB head coach Bill Clark with us now. Coach, are you with us? Coach Clark? Uh-oh. Let's see if he's with us now. Coach Clark, are you with us now?
I'm with you.
How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Thanks so much for taking time to join us this evening. We really do appreciate it.
Oh, glad. Thanks for having me.
We'll talk about your first spring at UAB, Coach. How's it been?
You know, it's been good. I think we came into a lot of guys that are still hungry for
do some good things. We one of the first things we came into really was a lot of guys that were injured. So I think we had to get our guys in the weight room doing the things we wanted them to do and get them conditioned to to how we want to practice. And we just we had a lot of guys coming off some pretty serious injuries, but really glad now to go into the summer with basically our whole team's in really good shape as far as health, but just a chance to get stronger and faster over the course of the summer.
And Coach, I know your spring game was rained out. I hope you don't take that as some kind of omen.
No, not at all. Probably the worst thing for us when we came in was just a lack of offensive linemen. We only had 9 guys, and then one of those guys got banged up, so it put us down to 8. We signed 7 guys that'll be coming in over the over the summer. Really, in fact, about a month we'll get all those guys in. We really did a good job making it through that situation, but I don't know what it would have happened with the spring game. So it may have been the best thing ever happened to us from a health standpoint.
I can certainly see that point, Coach. I can also see where I know last year for UAB it was rough and they had a lot of injuries. But you know what? Now that may pay dividends because you got some more experience for other guys, right?
Oh, that's exactly right. I mean, if you just looked at guys that got actual game experience, there were tons of those guys. And, I think that's going to be something that's going to help us. And, our Jacksonville State situation last year was very similar where, specifically defensively, we were, it was really, it had not been really good, specifically statistically speaking. And just had a lot of guys with experience. So that was something we really grew on last year, and I hope that's the same case this year.
Coach, USA Today, they famously or infamously have a poll where they rank the 128 teams in Division I, and UAB came in at number 120. And I know that coaches always say that they don't ever pay attention to these types of things. But do you use something like that for motivation to try and build your team up?
Oh, I don't think there's a doubt. I mean, it's definitely something that we would use as motivation. Obviously, none of us were here for any of that from a coaching staff standpoint. So, all we can go on is what we've done in the past everywhere we've been. But I think from a player standpoint, that's something that's got to, it's got to bug you. Just from the lack of respect or whatever you want to call it. So, we're as coaches, we're always looking for good ways to motivate our guys. So that's probably hard to find something much better than that.
And Coach, I know when you got to Birmingham, I know things really weren't in great shape, but I have a lot of faith in you. I know you're going to turn some things around. But what, when you got there, did you think needed the most improvement in the Blazer program?
I'm an old strength and speed guy, and I just thought our guys, from a training standpoint, weren't nowhere in the hemisphere where they needed to be. And it weren't that they didn't work. I felt that way in other places too. But I thought we just need to get stronger, faster. We're building a locker room right now. We've got all kind of things we've done. Just from a new video system, and we've upgraded our nutrition, and there's just so many things along those lines that we've done. But I think the biggest thing was just making our guys better athletes. Which is the training.
You've got Mississippi State and Arkansas, both from the SEC, on the upcoming schedule. Do you plan on keeping your schedule at a high level in terms of scheduling more SEC level competition, or are you going to try and back off of that and maybe get some more wins, some easy wins first? What's your philosophy on that?
I really think one SEC school is plenty. And, we changed our schedule the next year. We got one SEC school, and then we're playing one more school, more like us, like a South, I don't want to say a win, but I would say a team that's a lot more similar to us, South Alabama, Georgia State, et cetera. So that's doing, that was already done before I took the job. So that's just a lot better scheduling, in my opinion.
Coach, you certainly have moved up the ranks very, very quickly. I mean, it seems like just the other day you were at Prattville, then you're at South Alabama for a stint, and then you go to Jacksonville State, and now you're at UAB. I don't guess you keep things unpacked very long, do you?
No, we've done some moving lately, and the good news is all pretty close, and all within the state, and a lot of folks that I already knew. So it was a move, but it wasn't something that I was totally unfamiliar with, and a lot of folks that that I know and have known through the years.
Well, you brought up the offensive line a little bit earlier. We've got one here from Alexander City, and Cameron Blankenship. We're all very proud of him. Can you tell us anything about him up there in Birmingham?
Yeah, Cam had a really good spring, and he was one of the guys that got banged up right there at the end, but had a really good spring. He's a hard worker, tough. He's the kind of old lineman you like, and so, if y'all got any more like that around there, we'll sure take them. But he's doing a really good job, so y'all should be real proud of him.
And we are, and he's very proud to be there. We've actually had him on the show a few times, and he's a great ambassador for UAB, so you should be proud of him as well. And talk about Nate Weston. This is a kid that's going to be coming in for you, I believe, in the fall. This is a safety that's had a very interesting route to Birmingham, I believe.
Yeah, Nate's a guy. We're just kind of we're in the market for, getting older, and that's what we've done from the junior college standpoint. We went out and got some older guys, and Nate's a guy that, did a little bit of traveling. He was in Atlanta, Lovejoy products, and went to Ole Miss as a running back, and then went out to California, just kind of reinvented himself, went out to California as a safety. Nate's really, is a big-time track guy, a lot of speed, really well put together. He's going to give us a guy down, in the secondary that can really add speed to it. He's also a great punt returner, so just a good addition right here late.
I know one of the main goals UAB has had for a while now is to generate a lot more fan interest. What are some of your ideas to do that, to get more people in the stands, and maybe invite some of the alumni back, like a guy like Roddy White, who's been a star in the National Football League?
Well, I think there's a bunch of facets to kind of what you asked me, and the first thing is, we started with our players, our former players, and I think former players need to know they're welcome. And, we're not sticking our hand out saying, give me this or give me that. We just want you around. And so since day one, we've had an open door policy. I think they've embraced it. We had a flag football game for those guys and cooked out and had them around our players, and we had about 100 of those guys. So huge turnout and great response from that. And then one of the things I've really done is gone out and tried to meet with the students, and we were going to have our band at the spring game, and I met with them, and I think we've got to really go out and promote our team with our students, and that's one of the big things we've done. And of course, success obviously will be just the style of play we have. I hope is something that people get excited about and want to be part of. So I think there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Well, Coach, I know I'm a big Bill Clark fan, and everybody here on the Sportz Blitz team is, and we're so excited that a guy who has his roots in high school football in Alabama is now the head coach of the Blazer program, because I think a lot of people have been wanting a reason to get more and more interested in this program. And you look at some of the past hires they've had, maybe didn't necessarily have all the ties to the state that would draw us in, but I think your being here for so long and being at Jacksonville State and South Alabama and Prattville and several other high schools in the state is such a fantastic thing, and we wish you the best of luck.
Well, thanks so much, and hopefully we'll get everybody, as many people from y'all's area to come see us play, and hopefully we'll put a good product out there for y'all to see.
Coach, have a great season, and go Blazers.
Okay, go Blazers, and y'all, anytime y'all need me, just feel free to call.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much for being with us.
Okay, let's see you.
That was Coach Bill Clark of the UAB Blazer program, and again, I mean what I say here. I think it's such a big move for UAB to have a guy with roots in this state and who's been so incredibly successful. I think he's going to make some moves at UAB. They're not going to be a national contender anytime soon, but I think that UAB can turn around and make a foundation under Coach Bill Clark. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success. When you're on Lake Martin and looking to own a boat, it pays to know what the locals know. Alex City Marine in Alexander City and the all-new Alex City Marine 2 on Highway 63 across from the Mini Mall is Lake Martin's premier Landau pontoon boat dealer and the area's authorized Suzuki, Honda, and Mercury outboard dealer. Alex City Marine has the industry's best brands and backs it up with the industry's best boat repair with marine certified specialists that get it done right. Whether summerization or a full overhaul, Alex City Marine has you covered on both ends of the lake. Know what the locals know. Alex City Marine.
During the award season event at Vice Motors.
Don't roll the dice, buy it at Vice.
Award-winning vehicles.
Buy it at Vice.
Drive first ever back-to-back winner of the Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the Ram 1500.
Nice price. Lowest price. Take my advice.
Buy it at Vice.
We're just a short drive away from invoice every day.
I bought it at Vice.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
They're really nice.
ViceChryslerDodge.com.
Have you been waiting to refinance your mortgage because you're concerned about the value of your home? Recent market data shows that property values have been increasing in our area.
The HomePlace Flex allows you to choose your term, whether you're looking to take years off of your mortgage or lower your monthly payment. Now is the time to act while rates are still at historic lows.
With the HomePlace Ultimate, this is a smart solution to combine your bills, lower your monthly expenses, and even take on that new home improvement project you've been putting off.
Call us today for all your mortgage needs.
If you've been seriously injured in a car wreck or a truck wreck, don't let the insurance company knock you out without taking responsibility for your medical expenses, pain and suffering, and car repair. You need a fighter. I'm a former Golden Glove champion, and I will fight for you to get the money you deserve. Call Tripp and put a fighter in your corner.
Call the Walton Law Firm at 334-321-3000 or toll free at 866-321-3330. Put a fighter in your corner.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be provided is greater than that of other attorneys.
It's the model year in closeout with the lowest prices of the year. Now at Lynch Nissan of Auburn. The 2014 models are here, and the 2013s have got to go while they last. Own the new 2013 Nissan Altima for just $19,900, or get a new 2013 Frontier priced at just $18,900. Both with available 0% financing. The best deals of the year on the Nissans you want are here during the model year in closeout. Only at Lynch Nissan of Auburn, I-85 at exit 51. Online at lynchnissan.com.
Auburn Blitz, brought to you by Dane Sharp, attorney at law, helping injured people get the full benefit of their case. Call Dane today at 256-825-4631.
Welcome back to Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and SNS. Discount Tire here in the Auburn Blitz segment of our show, sponsored by Dane Sharp, attorney at law, and we'll go to the Dane Sharp attorney at law hotline and pick up our good friend Andy Graham with Auburn Blitz. Andy, thanks for joining us.
It's good to be here. How you doing tonight?
Doing good, Andy, and we'll just dive straight in head first. Auburn baseball, not what they needed this weekend, was a sweep, but you know, it goes a little bit deeper than that. I can understand getting swept if you were, you know, a 6-5 game, a 9-8 or something like that, but only one run scored this weekend against Mississippi State, and really the games weren't even close. And Andy, I don't know, not what Auburn needed coming down the stretch.
No, it seems like every time something good happens for this baseball team, you can be fairly certain something catastrophic is going to happen right after that. You know, Auburn won 12 of 14 at one stretch early to begin the end of the non-conference season, beginning of the SEC season, and had won 12 of 14 and invited Missouri, who is by far the worst team in the SEC, into Auburn, and they proceeded to lose 2 of 3. That has turned out to be, you know, that has haunted them ever since. They just have not been the same team since. You know, a couple of weeks ago, they go to Fayetteville and win 2 of 3. You feel like maybe, hey, they may make a run down the stretch and come home and have a disaster of a weekend and go 29 straight innings without being able to score a run. You know, they had absolutely no answer for Mississippi State pitching. It was really the weekend could not have gone worse. You know, they're in 13th place right now. If the season ended today, they would be on the outside looking in for Hoover in the SEC tournament. But there are 6 games left in this season, and Auburn is still not out of the realm. It's not out of the realm of possibility that they can still get into that tournament. Missouri is at the bottom at 6-18. Auburn is right above them at 9-15. Then you got Georgia at 9-14. You've got Kentucky at 10-14, Tennessee at 10-14, Arkansas at 11-13. The good news is Auburn owns the tiebreaker over Arkansas, Texas A&M, and Tennessee. They play Kentucky this weekend, so it's a huge. This at this time of year, every series is the biggest series of the year. So what they do in Lexington this weekend is going to determine whether they go to the tournament or not. If they can go up there and win 2 or 3 Kentucky, then I fully believe that they'll make the SEC tournament. If they don't, they go up there and get swept, and this season is over. It's a good thing tonight. They've gotten off the schneid. They got exactly what they needed. They put up 9 runs already tonight, so at least maybe they're showing some signs of life.
Andy, going into this weekend, Mississippi State was 11-10 in the conference. We were 9-12, and at the end, it's 9-15 for Auburn, and at the bottom, and Mississippi State propels themselves all the way up to second in the West now at 14-10. So, that's how quickly and how close one weekend can be. And I said it 2 weeks ago. I didn't feel like Auburn could afford to get swept in any of these matchups coming down. They needed to win at least one. They didn't get that done this weekend, but I also didn't factor in Auburn going to Fayetteville and winning 2 or 3 there. So it kind of evened out. They got, if you want to add one, take one away, that kind of counts for getting one win for Mississippi State and one win from Arkansas. So Auburn, by that way, getting 2 or 3 on the road, kept themselves barely in this thing, and I mean barely, because they are 9-15. They're 2 games above 500 overall at 25-23, but they may be getting a win tonight to add to that win total. But it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 2 weekends to see if Auburn can make it in to the tournament. Then you got Alabama that was right there at the top of the heap. They get swept by a very good Florida team who's 18-6 now in the conference and have distanced themselves pretty much from everybody else. And now Alabama falls all the way from 1st to 4th at 13-11 in the conference. So in baseball, it's a matter of one weekend. It can swing you 4 or 5 places.
No question about it. That's why I say, 6 games left. Really anything can happen. You look at the bottom 7 teams in the SEC, and there's 6 games difference between them. So a lot can happen. And, Alabama, we talked about it, and I think Luke, made mention of this several weeks ago. And when Auburn and Alabama played, I talked about this on Sports Call. When you look at the numbers, Alabama was winning a lot of close games. They were pitching it very well, but they were kicking the ball around. They didn't hit the ball very well. It was a little bit of smoke and mirrors. I think they're a decent team. But as the season has gone on and they've started playing some better teams, their record has definitely gone down. You're seeing them. The Florida is definitely become the class of the SEC this year. I don't know who's going to come out of the SEC. If there is a team that's really going to threaten to win it all this year, but LSU is always a threat to win it all out of the SEC, no matter where they are, really. But Florida's a very good baseball team, and I would not be surprised to see them in Omaha.
Andy Graham on the phone with us here in the Auburn Blitz segment, sponsored by Dane Sharp, attorney at law. Let's slide over and talk about this softball program. We'd be remiss not to talk about the softball program heading into the SEC tournament with a 38-16-1 record, 11-13 in the conference, but a tremendous first season for the new head coach at Auburn and for these girls, and you can definitely see where this program's headed.
No doubt. Clint Myers has done a phenomenal job. Auburn has played extremely well all year long. They had one stretch where they lost, I think, 7 straight SEC games, but I think the majority of them were by 1 run. They're in practically every game they play. They have one of the most incredible stat lines that you'll ever see. You know, they have scored almost as many runs as they have hits. Just incredible how they score runs and have push runners across. You know, score runners from third base. You know, get on base by walk, hit, just whatever it might be. They take advantage of the opportunities they have. They are very fundamentally sound. They're one of the best fielding teams in the SEC. They don't make a lot of errors. They turn a lot of double plays. Very good defensive team. And the best thing about this team, it is jam full of freshmen and sophomore. And you're seeing a lot of the really good players are freshmen and sophomores. They've got 2 or 3 really good juniors too. So this team's going to be almost fully intact. All their superstars are going to be coming back next year, and this is definitely going to be a team to deal with. They went to South Carolina on the road this past week. They did lose 2 or 3, but the good news is they'll get another shot at South Carolina because the SEC tournament begins tomorrow. Auburn opens up with South Carolina at 5:30 tomorrow on ESPNU. You know, Auburn had missed the SEC tournament, I think, for the previous 2 or 3 years. So just getting there, the top 10 teams make it. Just getting there is an accomplishment. And there's no doubt that Auburn's going to be in the postseason too. And the way this team hits the ball, the way they can hit the home run, the way they take advantage of every hit that they get, they are a extremely dangerous team. I don't think anybody looks forward to playing them.
Well, Andy, we appreciate you taking some time out to be on the program with us to catch us up on Auburn athletics. And, again, we want to thank Dane Sharp, attorney at law, for being our Auburn Blitz segment sponsor here for over 2 years now. So can't say enough about him. Andy, appreciate it, and I'll catch up with you on Friday.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Thank you so much. That's Andy Graham, host of Sports Call, and I'll be with him on Friday. Also here on this segment each and every Tuesday night for the Auburn Blitz. We'll take a break. We come back, take your calls. More sports coming at you. Stay tuned. More Sportz Blitz Live presented by JR's and S&S Tire right after this.
Bradbury Medical Equipment serves the Lake Martin area's needs with durable medical equipment and respiratory care. Bradbury Medical Equipment is home-owned and operated, providing skilled, qualified, and professional people to set up and deliver all of their equipment. Bradbury Medical Equipment provides 24-hour service and will file all insurance claims, making claims trouble-free. Located on Airport Drive in Alexander City, Bradbury Medical Equipment, a history of neighborly care. Call them today at 256-215-8654.
JR's Catering is your premier choice for catering for any occasion in the Lake Martin area. Their quality food service can cater any event from banquets, family celebrations, charity events, political gatherings, as well as corporate catering. For delicious food of any kind and great service, call on JR's Catering today at 256-329-2328.
Hello, I'm Russell Building Supply.
And I'm the big box store.
Box, I don't mean to cut you short, but I've got a delivery to make.
A delivery?
Yeah, Russell delivers anywhere in the local area for free, usually on the same day, and that's on top of our low price guarantee.
Really? Free? Are you kidding me?
No, and if you prefer to pick the order up yourself, we'll load it for free.
And on the same day?
Yeah, we're really good at working on short lead times. How about you?
Yeah, I'm short.
Serving Lake Martin and Central Alabama.
S&S Discount Tire on Cherokee Road in Alex City is the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealership and a place for everything mechanical. Weary and the S&S Tire crew are ready to serve you with double the capacity from routine oil changes to full engine overhauls and all transmission work. S&S Tire can handle it all. That's S&S Tire on Cherokee Road. Call David or Weary today at 256-215-8822. Visit S&S Discount Tire at 224 East South Street in Davie, now in 2 locations.
It's political season. Get the most exposure for your campaign through Lee Marketing Group. Yard signs, banners, decals, door hangers, postcards, business cards, video production, advertising, and more. Custom, professional, and engaging. Everything you need in one place. Contact us today. 888-533-6758. www.leemarketing.net. LMG. Success by design.
In this moment, you want a team that stands behind you so you can perform your best. At Auto Owners Insurance, it's how we do business every day. Because along with our independent agents, no one works harder to keep you in the game. Auto Owners Insurance.
Call Dark Insurance today, 256-234-5026. Welcome back to Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. Again, I want to thank Bill Clark for being on the program. I want to thank Andy Graham for being on the program. Let me say one quick thing about Bill Clark. That's how you build a program.
I agree.
The way he signed off with you, Luke, hey, by the way, you guys ever need anything, just call me.
Well, listen, and let me say this, too. One thing that I told Justin Clayton, our producer, I said, gosh, he didn't back away from anything I asked him either, and I felt like every time I asked a question, I felt like I was being too hard on UAB. But you know what? I mean, UAB hadn't been very good, and he acknowledges it.
And he knows that.
It's not like he's saying, you know what, well, we're better than people think. No, he's like, we've been bad, and we're going to get better. That's how we're going to do this thing. I don't think he has any delusions of grandeur.
Isn't that how you get better, is you embrace reality?
Exactly.
Real quick update on the score. Miami, no problem with Brooklyn. 107-86, so the ride is over for the Brooklyn Nets. They may have won them all in the regular season, but when it comes down to the rubber hitting the road, it is the Miami Heat. Brian, go ahead.
Alabama's winning 6-1 over Jacksonville State into the ninth.
There you go. Alabama's winning over Jacksonville State. So
Alabama and Elmore County plays Calera in the regionals this night in Troy.
Thank you, buddy.
Brian, thank you, and a lot better connection there. A lot better phone. So appreciate you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we appreciate Brian. 7 years in running here. He's been part of our program. So he's been here as long as we have.
I was about to say he's been part of the program longer than I have.
Exactly. He really has. So he's got more seniority. So, but did you expect any different when you got in the playoffs? I mean, you just said that Brooklyn won all 4 matchups with Heat during the regular season.
Not really.
And they just get blown out tonight.
Well, but Brooklyn had to just go play a heart stopper in Toronto. They win on a block shot right there at the last second, and they did that on Sunday, and now they turn right around and have to play on Tuesday. I mean, they've got 3 82-year-olds on that team. I mean, they're probably a little tired.
They probably are tired. Trivia question. Second trivia question, we told you we would throw it out there. Kevin Durant is the first player since who to win both the scoring title and MVP award in the same season? Kevin Durant is the first player since who to win both the scoring title and the MVP award in the same season? Give us a call, 1-800-782-0108, 256-234. 64-64 NFL draft talk here before we have Aaron Suttles on in just a little bit, Luke. Again, we kind of hit on it a minute. Johnny Manziel could go number 1. He could drop out of the first round all the way down to second, maybe the third. Don't think he drops that far, but, you know, I don't know, man. I really don't. The more I hear people talk, I think it's more of a chance than it is anything with him.
You mean more of a chance to
draft
that
him
he's not going to work out?
That's right, yeah. Yes.
Gosh, I don't know. It's so hard because it's one of those things that you almost hate to see him there at your pick. Like every time it gets past, say, number 3 or number 4, and if your team even remotely needs a quarterback, you just hate to be the guy that passed up on Johnny Manziel if it works out because he is so magical. But you know what? Tim Tebow was pretty magical too, and it didn't necessarily translate to the next level. But I think Manziel is a better passer. I think he's in some ways a better runner, at least for today's NFL. Tim Tebow was a great runner, but more of a power guy. He wasn't going to make anybody miss. Manziel made a lot of NFL players, future NFL players, miss. I mean, he played NFL players almost every week in the SEC. And he had a pretty decent offensive line. There's no doubt about that. He's got a couple of guys one guy who's going to be drafted, another guy who was drafted last year. But you know what? He didn't have the best defense. He was always playing from behind, it seemed. So he always had to make something happen, and the pressure was on him at all times. So I feel like he's worth the shot. But if you don't take Jadeveon Clowney number 1, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't care if you need a quarterback or not.
So you think it's a lot to take him?
I mean, in my opinion, it is. And I think it's Jadeveon Clowney, and then there's a gap between him and whoever you want to take next. You want to take Greg Robinson next? I can buy that. You want to take Manziel next? I can buy that. You want to take Sammy Watkins next? I can certainly buy that. He's a pretty fantastic player too. I mean, there are a lot of guys, Khalil Mack's even in the discussion. So I think there are a lot of ways you can go after Jadeveon Clowney, but I think it's Clowney, a huge gap, and then probably about 10 players that I think could go at number 2. And any one of them that went there, I'd go, you know what, I can buy that.
Yeah, 1-800-782-0108, 256-234-6464. We do have a trivia question on the table. Kevin Durant is the first player since who to win both the scoring title and MVP award in the same season? Give us a call there. Very interesting question there from our producer, Justin Clayton. And then, again, but, you know, the NFL draft is always exciting. A neat story for people around here. Sean Coleman has been invited to come up and present one of the picks. You know, he's fought cancer. He was a 5-star guy out of Mississippi. Auburn signed him as a big offensive lineman. Leukemia, and he has fought that and won and is battling back and expects to probably start this year, Luke. What an amazing story. Take away whatever team he's on, and for them to invite him to come do that, and it's part of some kind of cancer awareness thing that they're going to do during that particular pick. So kudos to him. A great story. Doesn't matter who you play for. You like to hear those feel-good stories because, trust me, I get tired of talking about the Jameis Winston stories and the Donald Sterlings and all the soap opera junk that we always get caught up in on sports. But that's everything. When you turn the news on, it's all negative. They say the only positive story at the very end of the news segment.
Well, and the sad reality is those are the stories that sell.
I know that. I understand
it's a lot more fun, I guess, to make fun of and throw barbs at Jameis Winston than it is to pat Sean Coleman on the back. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying
I understand.
It's the way we all are. I mean, we'd much rather see a Photoshop of Jameis Winston holding those crab legs. Almost, Justin, if you can find that, put it back up, because that gets me every time.
Yeah.
Then we would see Sean Coleman go on stage. I know the noble thing is to say, oh, we'd much rather hear about Sean Coleman, but you wouldn't. You read the other story first. That's just how it works.
Charles, go ahead. You're on Sports Blitz.
Yeah, take a shot at the trivia question.
Okay.
It'd be Kobe Bryant.
It's not Kobe Bryant. That's a good guess.
One more thing. What's happened to the Atlanta Braves?
They're pulling what they normally pull. They're the Atlanta Braves. I don't know. Maybe they're getting it out of their system early instead of in the playoffs. But I'm just not sure as the Jameis Winston pick comes up. I'm just not sure that Atlanta has the complete package to win going down the stretch. I know it's really, really early, but have lost 7 in a row. I don't know how they're doing tonight. I know
it's 1-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Atlanta's got a runner on first with 1 out. God, this would be 8 in a row, wouldn't it?
This would be 8 in a row. Yep. So Charles, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Charles.
Thank you, Charles. On that Jameis Winston extra large head on top of a crab body picture, we'll go to break, and we come back. You'll have Aaron Suttles on, Luke, and we're looking forward to having him on the program. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live presented by JR's and S&S Tire right after this.
Ever wondered what LMG can do for you? The possibilities are endless.
LMG offers custom apparel and promotional products, any type of signage and vehicle wraps, web design and internet marketing, video production, paper products, and more. Visit us online at www.leemarketing.net. With 3 locations to best serve you, Madison Street in Alexander City, Highway 280 in Dadeville, and Frederick Road in Auburn.
I'm attorney Dane Sharp. Texting while driving has recently become a real problem. In our office, we see many cases where texting has led to auto accidents and serious injuries. We would encourage all parents to speak with their children regarding the dangers of texting while driving. And remember, if you're in your car, waiting to send out or read that text message won't change your life, but distracted driving can.
This message brought to you by personal injury attorney Dane Sharp. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be provided is greater than that of other attorneys. CTE Small Engines has served East Alabama's lawn and power equipment needs with quality products from Echo, Husqvarna, and Kawasaki. But now, CTE has expanded to serve the entire state with full lines of Titan UTVs. CTE Small Engines is Alabama's exclusive Titan dealer with full lines of the Scoot, Sniper, Explorer, and Recon series, featuring hybrid electric and gas combo with up to an 1100cc power package. See Alabama's exclusive Titan dealer, CTE Small Engines at Opelika next to Tigertown off I-85, or shop our full inventory at ctesmallengines.com. It's football season, and the Tide is ready to roll again. Bama fans, make sure you have everything you need to show your Tide pride. Bama Wear on Highway 280 in Childersburg has it all. Polo coaches shirts, game day t-shirts, hats, watches, autographed memorabilia, Daniel Moore prints, and home goods. Bama Wear is also the original home of the popular Bama Girl t-shirts and has plenty of Tide stuff for the Bama ladies, including houndstooth purses, dresses, raincoats, and more. So whether you're gearing up to show your Tide pride at home or the game, there's only one place to go. Bama Wear on Highway 280 in Childersburg. You can also get your Tide gear online at bamawear.com.
At the Medicine Shop, we're dedicated to the idea that quality pharmacy care means more than just prompt prescriptions. When you come to the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, you'll be able to count on dependable care from a knowledgeable pharmacist. The Medicine Shop is the only compounding pharmacy in the area, and we offer the shingles vaccine year-round. Bring your prescriptions by the drive-thru on Airport Drive in Alex City, or input them online at www.medicineshop.com, or call them at 256-215-8014. The Medicine Shop, caring beyond prescriptions.
It's political season. Get the most exposure for your campaign through Lee Marketing Group. Yard signs, banners, decals, door hangers, postcards, business cards, video production, advertising, and more. Custom, professional, and engaging. Everything you need in one place. Contact us today. 888-533-6758. www.leemarketing.net. LMG. Success by design.
Bama Blitz, brought to you by Bradbury Medical Center, offering durable medical equipment, including wheelchairs, oxygen, hospital beds, and more. 256-215-8654.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live, and we're very pleased now to have Aaron Suttles with us with the Tuscaloosa News and TideSports.com. You can follow him at Aaron Suttles on Twitter, and he keeps a fabulous Twitter feed going, and gosh, I don't know how he keeps up with it the way he does. I was looking at it a little bit earlier. It's chock full of information, so go follow Aaron Suttles, who joins us right now. Aaron, how are you tonight?
I'm great, guys. How are you?
Really do appreciate your being with us. Let's talk first. We got the NFL draft coming up 2 days from right now. A lot of Alabama players out there, and a lot hoping to have their name called early. What do you think? Where do you think everybody will wind up?
Well, it's a pretty broad spectrum when you look at this year's group, and so many guys. Just speaks to the talent that Coach Saban has brought into Tuscaloosa. When you look at how many guys actually could be drafted, could be 10 or 11 guys this year, actually. But in the first round, it's going to start with Clayton. Pretty much projected as the top safety in this draft, along with Calvin Pryor of Louisville, and then TJ Mosley, who I know. Doing some reading and some mock projections the last couple of days that it looks like Green Bay really likes him to fill in their middle linebacker. Those are the two guys that will probably go first round. If it weren't for Cyrus Kwanjo's questions surrounding his knee, he would be a lock in the first round. He might slip out of the first round into the second. And then from there, it's kind of wide open. You look at A.J. McCarron, can go anywhere from the second to the fourth round. And then after that, it's kind of wide open. Kevin Norwood really helped himself during the draft process. Ran a really good 40 at the NFL Combine. Interviewed very well with NFL teams and has a knack for making that big catch. So there are a lot of guys that'll go on that third day of the draft, and Ed Stinson will be there, and Anthony Steen. Like I said, just a lot of Alabama players to watch out, not just in the first round this year, but really spread throughout the 3 days of the draft.
Yeah, I think Kevin Norwood, I love this kid. He's all heart. He not necessarily the fastest or can jump the highest, but, man, he had a knack for the big catch while he was at the capstone, so I'm pulling for him to move up. As much as Cyrus Quandro has had a precipitous drop probably from top 5 pick into the second round, I think Kevin Norwood has moved up because I saw the early projections on him were 7th, 6th round, and now I've seen him early as 3rd round, maybe even late 2nd.
Yeah, he's really, really helped himself. I thought he had a really good Senior Bowl down in Mobile, and then he just ran a really good 40 time in Indianapolis at the Combine. And just mentioned he's got a knack for making the big catch. He's a character guy. Will be a locker room guy that can fit right into any NFL clubhouse. And he runs great routes. Like you said, his measurables don't necessarily blow you away. But when you put the total package together, combined for what he's done during this draft season, combined with what he's done on film, I think a lot of NFL teams will be interested in adding him to their roster.
Staying with the draft theme, but maybe looking to the future here, who on Alabama's current roster do you think has the best shot to be a number 1 pick eventually?
Wow, that's a great question. You got to start with Amari Cooper. What he's done in his first 2 years at Alabama really kind of mind-blowing. I don't know if he can go number 1, potentially, but if you're talking about overall, you got to look at a guy like a true freshman that we haven't seen play yet in Cam Robinson. In the NFL now, it's a passing league, and you got to have quarterbacks and you got to have linemen that can protect the quarterback. And I know we're projecting a long way off, but if you look at a guy that's already competing for playing time at left tackle at Alabama as a true freshman, he's a guy that down the road you could see potentially maybe going number 1.
Yeah, I totally agree with that pick. I was going to sneak that one in after your Amari Cooper, but you were able to get it in there. Let's talk basketball for just a second. Anthony Grant, I would say he is on very thin ice right now, at least with a lot of the fans, not necessarily with the administration, which is what really counts. But what do you see for this program coming up next year?
Well, first off, there's got to be some excitement around the program, and the pressure really ratcheted up on Coach Grant's staff the moment that Auburn hired Bruce Pearl. And Anthony Grant's never going to be Bruce Pearl. It's not his personality. But he's got to create some excitement around the program. You think about Anthony Grant and his demeanor is so stoic, and that's just who he is. He can't fake who he is, but at the same time, you've got to find a way to get the fans passionate about your program, and it's not necessarily going to come through the way that you play because you're mainly known as a defensive-minded coach and a defensive-minded team. They've got to find a way, whether it's the new assistant basketball coach they hired or some of these transfers that came in that had to sit out, or the freshman class that's coming in. You got to find a way to put some fannies in the seat by making it exciting to go to the basketball game from an offensive standpoint. Because I know they fell off a little bit defensively last year from what the standard had been under Coach Grant at Alabama, but I think that's going to shore itself up. They're going to be a defensive team. They have to find a way to score the basketball. Too many times this year, and even heck, going back a couple seasons, there's stretches 5, 6, 7 minutes with no baskets, no field goals made. You can't have that. It's not good for fans to watch because it's not a fun style of basketball to watch. But there's a lot of pressure on him to create a fun atmosphere inside Coleman Coliseum for next year.
Has it put any more pressure on him and Mitch Gaspard, the baseball skipper for that matter, that most every other program at Alabama has either been in the national championship hunt or has shown a lot of improvement like women's basketball?
Yeah, I think if you look at the athletic, just the roster of coaches they have in that athletic department right now, it maybe is as good as it's ever been as a whole. You mentioned Jay Steele on the men's program coming off a national championship, number 1 in the nation, getting ready to try to defend that. Nick Potter's won a national championship with the women's golf program. We know what Sarah Patterson's done with 6 national championships. Christy Curry certainly interjected a lot of energy into her program in her first year. Patrick Murphy, the softball coach, has won a national championship, just won another SEC regular season title. There is some pressure. Alabama, they were in pretty pretty good, at least from baseball. They're in pretty good shape a couple weeks ago, standing at 13-6. 12-6 in the league. And now the kind of bottom's falling out, and they might be lucky just to finish 500 in SEC play. So a lot of pressure when you look not just from the SEC as a whole, but as you mentioned, you look down the hallway in these coaches' offices, and they're, coaches that are competing for SEC national championships, no doubt.
And finally, Aaron, speaking of baseball, I know that Alabama's due to have a massive upgrade to Sewell Thomas, but it's funny, I was going through your tweets. Bill Battle apparently came out and tried to make a joke about the cost of improvements going up, and I don't know that it translated all that well, but talk a little bit about those improvements and maybe what Bill Battle had to say about them.
Yeah, when they initially green-lighted the renovation of Sewell Thomas Stadium for the Board of Trustees, it was a $30 million project, and now as the plans have kind of grown and construction costs have gone up, it's now kind of ballooned to $35 million. And they've already raised about $5.5 million towards the renovation. But as the cost went up, it kind of wiped out that fundraising a little bit. He made a joke that they were back to square one. Some people read it as the project was back to square one, and what he was referring to is just the fundraising, because they had raised $5 million, but when the cost went up $5 million, it kind of negated that a little bit. So that got a little bit lost in the translation, and a couple of the hardcore baseball fans were questioning Bill Battle and getting a little worried. But nothing to be worried about. That project will start as soon as Alabama and their season ends this year.
Aaron, thank you so much for being with us this evening. We want to have you on again soon, and there's always some interesting stuff to talk about over in Tuscaloosa.
My pleasure.
We'll have you on again. Thank you, Aaron. That was Aaron Suttles with TideSports.com in the Tuscaloosa News. You can follow him at Aaron Suttles. That's Aaron, AARON, on Twitter. He's a fantastic watch on the Twitter feed, so go check him out. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sports Blitz Live.
Ever wondered what LMG can do for you? The possibilities are endless.
LMG offers custom apparel and promotional products, any type of signage and vehicle wraps, web design and internet marketing, video production, paper products, and more. Visit us online at www.leemarketing.net. With 3 locations to best serve you: Madison Street in Alexander City, Highway 280 in Dadeville, and Frederick Road in Auburn.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
Have you heard about Walls Tire and Auto? Walls Tire and Auto is a full-service garage with over 40 years combined experience in the shop. Let the professional, experienced staff at Walls Tire and Auto provide you with any service your car needs. You already know they handle tires of all sizes and brands, but did you know if your car breaks down, the friendly staff of Walls Tire and Auto will pick you up, make the repairs, and deliver your car back to you? Stop by and see them today. They're right off Highway 280, about a mile past Lake Hill Bridge, or call at 256-825-2628.
It's not surprising that Russell Medical Center has outpatient services, but what might surprise you is that we have so many. So remember, for the finest in outpatient services, our doors are always open. Russell Medical Center, conveniently located in Alexander City.
Hey, Jerry. Nice yard. I bet this dead wood really hits home for you. The only thing getting trimmed around here our property values.
Does it ever feel like your yard work is taunting you?
Where you going? The nail salon's the other way.
Take back your yard with professional-grade equipment from Echo. Reliable, easy to use, and backed by a 5-year warranty. Echo. Get serious.
Get your SRN 225 trimmer at Satterfield's, Highway 280, Alexander City.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. For over 20 years, our mission has been to provide the best possible service available in the industry, and we specialize in solving difficult problems. We offer a wide range of services, such as installation, service, repair, and replacement of common fixtures, water heaters, toilets, faucets, drains, sewer lines, and septic tank pumping and cleaning services. Unlike many companies, our septic tank services include field line testing. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
Welcome back to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. S&S Discount Tire, last segment of the show. Let's go back to the phone lines. Charles, one more shot at the trivia.
Yeah, one more time. LeBron James.
Not LeBron James, but a good guess there. I'll give you one more guess.
Dirk Nowitzki, or whatever, played Dallas.
Dirk Nowitzki.
He's got one in form last
Yeah, he's German. So Derek Da Vinci, that was a good one, Charles. We appreciate it. That was a good try.
Thank you.
I remember when Derek Da Vinci played Michael Jordan in the NBA Finals, and I mean they just went off. They each had two goals and 3 touchdowns.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you the answer. It's Allen Iverson. So Kevin Durant is the first player since who to win both the scoring title and MVP award in the same season. Allen Iverson.
We were talking. We only got like 30 seconds left in the show. We were talking off air, and I said, "He said, what do you want to end it on?" I said, "Let's end it on something jovial." Boy, we did that. Derek Da Vinci.
I swear. I mean, it is. I know we're not. Hey, look, I had somebody talk about the other day about or asked me, said, "Are y'all ever going to talk about NASCAR?" And I said, "We don't do it justice, and we don't talk about it." But again, Talladega this past weekend, and again another big race. It's always one of the bigger races that a lot of these drivers love to hate. Mm-hmm. They love to hate this race, and when you win it, it's great. But everybody knows that it's a train wreck toward the end because everybody's trying to push to win it. But Denny Hamlin wins the Talladega. The Aaron's 499 to be politically correct. So we will start covering some more NASCAR as we head down the track. So
I want to say one other thing. Derek Da Vinci was a heck of a NASCAR driver on that track.
Yes, he was. We may have to keep that name around for a while. The legend of Derek Da Vinci.
It is.
But
I did see today I did see really quickly where Bruce Pearl said he's going to upgrade Auburn's out-of-conference schedule. And the only thing I can say to that is it's about time.
We enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you next time.
Hello? Yeah, man, I just picked some up. Wait a second. I think I see some cheaper ice. Hold on one moment. What's going on here?
Man, just get my ice at Twice Ice like I always do.
Well, look what I paid almost $3 for.
Man, you can get a 16-pound bag of ice or fill up your cooler with 20 pounds for $1.50. This is the only place to come.
Just pull up to one of our convenient locations in Alex City, Dadeville, Sylacauga, or Childersburg and fill up your cooler. Lowest price, convenience. That's what you get with Twice the Ice.
Tallapoosa Ford on Highway 280 in Alex City has delivered new Fords for 35 years. Need fuel efficiency with style? See the best selection of 13 Ford Fusions delivering 38 MPG in a new stylish package. Check out the Hybrid C Max crossover now on the lot, offering roomy comfort with an amazing 47 MPG rating highway and city.
Hello, this is Jeff Smith with Tallapoosa Ford. I'd like to welcome you to our dealership and experience our low-pressure sales. With non-commissioned salespeople, our sales force is here to serve you.
Visit Tallapoosa Ford, Highway 280, Alex City. If we don't have it, we'll get it, guaranteed.
Have you been waiting to refinance your mortgage because you're concerned about the value of your home?
Recent market data shows that property values have been increasing in our area.
The HomePlace Flex allows you to choose your term, whether you're looking to take years off of your mortgage or lower your monthly payment. Now is the time to act while rates are still at historic lows.
With the HomePlace Ultimate, this is a smart solution to combine your bills, lower your monthly expenses, and even take on that new home improvement project you've been putting off.
Call us today for all your mortgage needs.
Oliver & Treadwell Law Firm is a dedicated, knowledgeable, and local legal team dedicated to serving its clients with a practice covering a broad spectrum, including criminal and civil litigation, family and domestic issues, and personal injury and workers' compensation. Oliver & Treadwell will use their experience and expertise to make sure you get the quality legal representation you deserve. Our team can execute your legal game plan. Oliver & Treadwell is also a proud sponsor of all local high school football. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be provided is greater than that of other lawyers.
Ever wondered what LMG can do for you? The possibility